Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. Today we're doing a video on a channel called Courtroom, and this is top 10 most dramatic moments ever in court. So I'm going to be reacting to this. If you didn't know from watching my one video, I started a Twitch channel. So if you would like to follow me on Twitch, you can go do that. The link to the Twitch will be in the description below if you want to go check that out. But yeah, we're going to react to this video. Are you guys ready? Of course you're ready. Let's go.
This is Christopher McNabb, who is facing charges for the murder of his 2-week-old child in Covington, Georgia. After the child's mother reported the baby missing to police, local law enforcement immediately launched a search. Later that night, McNabb is seen in front of TV cameras begging for his child back.
I want my kid back, man.
Oh, I've already seen this. I hate you. I hate people who do this. How dare you be so fucking heartless to take the life of your child. Your child who had no say on if he stayed in this world or not, just because you are a sick, disturbed bastard. Fucking shameful. You are fucking shameful.
Man, that's my child, man. I want my kid, man.
The next day, the child's body was found in a nearby wooded area. The cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head, which was later ruled a homicide. McNabb was arrested and charged with the murder of his own 2-week-old baby. After he was found guilty, we now move on to the sentencing. McNabb can then be heard claiming his innocence.
I'm innocent. I didn't do it. I've maintained that the whole time. I would never do this. That's all I got to say. I would never do it. I'm innocent.
And now the judge lets McNabb unknowingly choose his own sentence.
You claim you're innocent, so you tell me what sentence the man or woman that you claim did this should receive.
If you ever find out who did them, they deserve to be under the jail.
Okay, so they ought to get the maximum sentence.
Most definitely.
Okay. On the crime of malice murder, I sentence you to life in confinement without parole or concealing a death.
Oh wait, that's actually clever. That is clever. That judge is very clever. This guy's proclaiming this. He goes, okay. Well, if you're innocent, then what should the person get who did this? What should they get? He's like, well, maximum sentence, absolutely. They should be put in jail. So he's like, so maximum sentence, yes. He goes, okay, so I send you to life in prison without parole. Love that. So he's like, okay, I'll give you what you asked for then.
Death of another, I sentence you to.
After McNabb was handed down the max sentence, he was moved to Hays State Prison in Tryon, Georgia, where he is serving his life sentence.
Good. Rot in jail. Rot in jail, you bastard.
This is Franklin Williams, who is convicted of multiple felonies, including armed robberies and fleeing police in Cleveland, Ohio.
Again, I'm going to interrupt. Mr. Williams, listen to me. I'm going to gag you in 1 second.
Williams conducted 3 armed robberies before leading police on a high-speed chase. He was later arrested and convicted. Now, at his sentencing, Williams would not stop talking, despite more than a dozen warnings.
Sometimes, I mean, listen, some people just can't shut up. Unfortunately, he's one of them. They just don't know when to shut up. That fucking hell, there's many situations of that. There are people like that. Hell, I've been told I'm like that.
From the judge.
That means zip it right now. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't. That's a violation of the HIPAA law, Judge.
Here we go.
This resulted in the judge ordering Williams' mouth to be taped shut.
If you spit on, attempt to bite, or injure any of my deputies, you're going to have a bad day.
Is that allowed? Is this allowed? This is an actual question. Are you allowed to do this? I know he's a criminal, but like, I don't know if it's allowed or not.
What it is.
At a following court appearance, Williams has something to share with the judge and cameras.
Freedom of speech, no duct tape. With the hashtag.
Aside from all the interruptions, the judge can hand down Williams' sentence.
You faced a potential maximum consecutive sentence of 134 years. I ordered a 24-year sentence.
After Williams received a 24-year prison sentence, the judge later apologized.
That's insane. You could have gotten 134 years in prison. The judge sentenced you to 24. My man, you should be thankful for that, because you will leave that jail cell. You will leave prison and be able to have some part of your life. Don't know how much, you had the opportunity to not.
For the duct tape and threw out that sentence. He then appointed a new judge, where she sentenced him to 33 years behind bars.
Okay, so hold on a minute. So he apologized for this judge apologized for the duct tape, and appointed himself, got a new judge to look over this case, because I guess he thought he may be emotionally connected to it or something like that. He was emotionally angry during it. So instead, this new judge was like, hey, I'll send you to 30 years instead. 30, 33, 34 years. That's funny.
This is Kamiya Gant, who is charged with the murder of her boyfriend in Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh yeah, I know you're the one that she's. You know what? The judge loses it. One of the times the judge loses on it. This guy. This girl's a bitch who took the life of her boyfriend for no real reason, to my memory.
Reportedly, the attack happened during an argument between the two individuals and ended.
There was no argument that needs to lead to you taking the life of anyone. That is so stupid to think that you could get that heated, that's what you do. She deserves to rot in prison.
With the boyfriend being violently stabbed to death. Gant was arrested on first-degree murder charges. In court, Gant would claim her murder was in self-defense and her boyfriend was attacking her. But in the end, she was found guilty of murder.
The way I was portrayed, mostly everything was lies. There was a little bit of truth, but mostly I was convicted off of lies.
We now move into the sentencing.
It ain't no... See, here's the thing. Self-defense is a very dangerous game that needs to be played, because self-defense can be so... This is just in general, I mean. Because I've seen there were cases where people were like... Because someone got punched and then the response is someone like beat the shit out of them to the point of death, and then they're like, well, self-defense, he hit me first. I'm like, well, people... think that's self-defense. That really is, because to me, self-defense is you go until you cannot be physically attacked anymore. That's not what happened here. Even if it was, if that boyfriend went at you and then you stabbed him consistently to the point he died, I still don't think that's self-defense. It's a very dangerous game, is self-defense. Very dangerous.
Where Gant reportedly...
because it can allow dangerous people to escape if they can claim it.
kept interrupting the judge.
You're gonna shut your mouth or I'm gonna have some duct tape put on it.
With Gant showing no remorse, the judge had some final words.
You stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed until he was dead. I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well. You know, if this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting the chair.
In the end, Gant was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
As she deserves. However, I will admit, I'm shocked this judge was allowed to say that. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm shocked the judge was able to say that. I understand probably why he could, but I'm just saying, like, that's a pretty bold statement for a judge to be making.
This is Kimberly Kessar, who was charged with the murder of her coworker in Nassau County, Florida.
Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
Kessar was working at a Tangles hair salon under a fake name. She reportedly was on the run for 25 years and wanted in several states. She wouldn't be found until she brutally murdered her coworker with scissors and allegedly disposed of her body. This is Kessar after she was arrested.
You are a psychopath. You are not all that. You have screws loose. Look at her. She is not. She's in a fairy tale world right now. She is not all there at all. She crazy. She crazy.
And awaiting trial.
Are we on mute anyway, so I can say whatever the I want?
We're not on mute.
Oh, okay.
And this is what it was like to supervise her in jail.
She began to remove feces from styrofoam trays in the back of her cell and smear orange salt on the walls. She began to throw feces at Smith, Miller, and I.
Now, in the trial, she had to go to a separate room due to her outbursts.
I refuse them. I have refused them. I refuse the public defender's office. They appointed Jolie Cummings' cousin as my public defender. What, you don't want the public to know that?
And she continuously made false claims about her former public defender.
Jordan Beard is Jolie Cummings' cousin. Jordan Beard is Jolie's cousin.
She was
Why does she have this? This girl's insane. This girl's completely insane. What the hell is wrong with this woman?
later found guilty of first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Of course, absolutely. She should not be around any humans. Put in solitary confinement. I don't know. Fucking just send her somewhere. She can't be around people. She's nuts.
This is Cay Andrea Cook, who was
Oh, I know this one. I've seen this one many of times.
found guilty of carjacking charges in Volusia County, Florida. 18-year-old Cook and her then 17-year-old boyfriend had used a dating app to set up a carjacking, where the boyfriend reportedly shot the victim, leaving him seriously injured. After fleeing the scene and being on the run, the pair attempted another carjacking just 2 days later, but they were arrested. Now in court, Cook stands in front of the judge for her involvement in the theft and shooting.
Keeps you guilty of all three charges, sentence you to 20 years in state prison.
That is Cook's mother that can be heard crying. Reportedly, the reason for this very emotional outburst is there was a miscommunication with the assistant public defender, where Cook and her mother thought she wouldn't face any prison time. Cook's sentence was...
How was that even Hold on. I was gonna ask. How was this even miscommunicated? How do you miscommunicate that? Who? What? How was that? How? How was that miscommunicated? I have to know what this. I believe it. I just have to know what this stupid defender said, because that's. Why would you make them say that? Why would you make them believe there'd be no prison time when obviously there would be? What a dumbass! What a dumbass defendant.
Was later reduced to 11 years in prison.
Good on. At least she got it reduced because of her stupid. Because of public defender, whatever the heck, lawyer, whatever the hell it was that can't somehow communicate.
This is Jacob Morgan, who at 17 years old
I know this one too.
was found guilty of setting a house fire that killed a family member in Rock Hills, South Carolina. Morgan was left alone to look after his 14-month-old stepbrother, and reportedly, prosecutors said Morgan intentionally set the fire that killed his family member. In court, Morgan is at a probable cause hearing. Listen as the judge speaks.
So therefore, I am going to find that there is probable cause to charge the individual for General Sessions Court for late charges.
Morgan settled for a plea deal where he pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter and unlawful neglect of a child. However, he stated he loved his brother and he always maintained his innocence.
I love my brother. I still do to this very day. He's my best friend. To kill him would be killing a piece of myself. And I just wish I could have gotten to him in time.
Morgan was sentenced to 15 years in prison, but after serving only 7 years, he reportedly was released.
What? I never heard that part. What? He was sentenced to 50 after 7. He was after half his sentence. He was released. What? Yeah, fuck justice. Who needs that? Screw it. Let's just release everyone then. Fuck it. You can just kill someone to set the house on fire and just be fine.
This is Ignacio Rodriguez, who is the suspect in the death of his 4-month-old son in San Antonio, Texas. Reportedly, the child suffered a fractured skull and severe bleeding to the brain. Rodriguez was the lead suspect and was taken into custody. Now in court, Rodriguez stands in front of the judge where he is now facing a capital murder charge, but reportedly, he instead pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of intentional or knowing injury to a child causing serious bodily injury.
Mr. Rodriguez, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty. The judge now hands down his sentence.
It is the order of the court that you be sentenced to 50 years confinement.
But this is the moment that the baby's mother confronts Rodriguez.
I hate more than anything what you did to our son, and for that I can't ever see myself forgiving you. You were supposed to be our protector, not the one to break our hearts.
When the mother starts talking about her other child, Rodriguez insists that she tells the truth.
As she gets older, she will start asking questions.
Then tell her the truth. Tell her the truth. Tell her the truth. Tell her how everything was supposed to be. Tell her the whole truth. Don't lie to her. Tell her the whole truth. Tell her.
What a weirdo bastard you are. You're weird. What's wrong with you? There's so much wrong with you. I want to punch your ass. You're so fucked in the head, bro. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with him?
The whole truth. The whole truth.
Court officials quickly remove Rodriguez out of the courtroom.
Tell her the whole truth, Angela. The whole truth.
He is currently serving his 50-year prison sentence.
What a fucking weirdo.
This is Damon Kemp. He is charged with the double murder of his roommate.
Oh my god, he looks like he's just got some weird shit happen to him. I don't know what type of face he's making. It's weird some shit.
In Daytona Beach, Florida. Police were called to investigate a burglary at an apartment complex. And it was here...
God, I feel bad. There's a wrestler in NXT named Damon Kemp. Yeesh.
Kemp allegedly confessed to the murders. He was originally staying with his 2 roommates when both individuals were shot several times in the apartment. During Kemp's bond hearing, he's now escorted into court in a wheelchair.
God! 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 God!
The judge...
I'm sorry, I should not laugh at that. Before him screaming God, it just started making me laugh. I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't know why it made me laugh, but it did.
Tries to get Kemp's attention, but he's completely ignored.
Mr. Kemp?
God!
Damon Kemp, I'm going to conduct your first appearance.
God!
For the victim's family, it got so tough, they had to walk out. Kemp is currently in the Volusia County Jail, awaiting his trial. This is Erica Butts.
What a bizarre... Oh god, what's this? I don't know this one.
And Shanita Cunningham. They were both charged with homicide by child...
Oh wait, I do know this one. Never mind. I know this scene. This scene is what I know. Names-wise, I don't, but this one I do know. Oh, I hate these two.
Abuse in Somerville, South Carolina. Butts, who was best friends with the child's mother, was supposed to be caring for the toddler for 2 weeks. The child was only 3 years old. She died from her injuries, reflecting weeks of torture. A time frame that matched the time she had spent with Butts and her lover at the time, Cunningham.
What must have been the excruciating sounds that came from that child is more than disconcerting to this court.
After both women were found guilty, the judge now hands down their sentence.
The court finds it appropriate that each be sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of life.
They were just sentenced to life in prison.
Good, they deserve that. Any person who takes the life of a child deserves life in prison. The fact that one dude got 50 years is even insulting to me. Like, they all deserve life to sit and never be around any human and be sat in that prison for the rest of their miserable lives.
Prison.
Put him over in jail. Get him out. Drag him. Just drag him. Bye-bye.
Butts and Cunningham are reportedly at separate prisons serving their life sentences. This is Anthony Kirkland, who is a convicted serial killer in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Damn, this is the first one of a serial killer. Them in prison must be very awkward.
I'm evil and a monster. They're right. Even my mom hated me, but I don't blame her.
Kirkland had previously served a 16-year prison sentence for the killing of his ex-girlfriend. A few years after his release, Kirkland begun his killing spree. Over a 3-year period, he killed 4 women, 2 of them being teenagers. Kirkland was arrested after his 4th murder, as he was caught with one of the victim's watch and iPod, which made him a lead suspect. Eventually, police were able to pin all the murders to Kirkland. Now in court, as the charges are being read out, Kirkland is facing the death penalty, and next, he appears to faint.
Count 4, aggravated murder.
Kirkland was later found guilty on all charges.
That fall was legit. That startled me. Because I've seen people do fake. That was legit. That guy just went down. God.
Charges and sentenced to death. He is currently on death row awaiting his execution at the Chillicothe Correctional Facility.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this reaction video. Let me know what y'all thought in the comments below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all for the next one.